What's up guys, it's Tom Folan here, and recently a lot of you have been requesting a question and answer video. So a couple of days ago I took to my Instagram and Facebook and invited you to ask me some questions. I actually got way more questions than I originally anticipated, so if I don't manage to answer every single one of them, then I apologise in advance for that, but hopefully I'll be able to cover the majority of topics in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first question, how did you start freestyle and what was the way of training compared to your professional training now? Okay, so I started freestyle the same way I think the majority of people did, from watching videos on YouTube, and then one day I came across a video of Pale, the interview that he did for the Freestyle Foci website, and from then on I was hooked. I think the main difference between the way I train now compared to when I first started is that at the beginning I didn't really see it as training at all, and basically I was just having fun with freestyle. Whereas now my training is a lot more structured, and I almost always have a kind of direction that I want that session to go in, and also a few goals that I want to achieve within that session. What was your first freestyle combo and trick? My first freestyle trick was around the world, and my first freestyle combo was crossover around the world. Favourite freestyler and why? My favourite freestyler literally changes with the wind, but right now my two favourite freestylers are Lotta and Pedrinho. Lotta because his style and variation in lowers is just on another level in my opinion, and Pedrinho because the clips that he's been putting on Instagram recently have just made me want to go out and train. How do you structure your trainings? Okay, so I want to try and keep the answers to these questions as brief as possible, and for that reason I'm actually going to make a much more in-depth future video on the way I structure my training sessions, so keep an eye out for that in the future. What's your best trick at the moment? So my best trick at the moment, or at least my favourite one to do, is probably Pale Tuzani, just because I really struggled to crack the technique of this trick at first, so now I finally feel as though I've mastered it. I'm really enjoying experimenting with it in different combos. How did you train your weak foot during training, and if there is any other training you do outside of freestyle for your weak foot? I never used to actually specifically train my weak foot for long combos, but I pretty much explained what I did used to do in my Importance of Basics video, so if you haven't seen that, check it out and I'll have a link that you can click somewhere around here or a link down in the description. What is the best ball for lowers in your opinion? Okay, so anybody who knows me will pretty much already know the answer to this question, but my favourite ball for lowers of all time is the Adidas Teamgeist. Having said that, I've been using the Bazooka for quite a while now, and I really am enjoying using it for freestyle. So my top two balls for lowers are the Adidas Teamgeist and the Bazooka. How has freestyle affected your life? That's a tough question. I could sit here for hours and talk about all the ways that freestyle has positively affected my life, but basically, in short, freestyle has just become my life. All of my best friends, all of the best trips that I've ever been on, all of my best memories have all come from freestyle. Why do we not live together? Max, I think it's best for me, you, and the rest of the human race that we don't live together. Do you practice freestyle every day, and how long for? So a lot of you asked this question, and the simple answer is no, I do not train freestyle every day. I found the most efficient way for me to train is actually around 4 times a week, and this way I just see the most amount of progression and I'm always in the mood to freestyle. And the amount of time that I actually spend training really depends, because if you're at a meet with a few freestylers, then naturally your rest time is going to be a lot more than if you were training individually. But on my own, I usually train for between an hour to 2 hours. Why did you become a vegan, and what is your favourite vegan meal or food? This is something which I'm going to discuss in a lot more depth in a future video, but basically I've been vegetarian for quite a while and saw a lot of people who I look up to transitioning into a vegan diet and preaching the benefits of that, so it was kind of a natural progression for me. In terms of why I went vegetarian in the first place, I kind of just had an epiphany and realised that we are all in this together, floating on a spherical object through infinite space. So what gives us the right as a species to subject animals to such terrible conditions purely for a nice taste in our mouths? But my favourite vegan meal, you see, I'm weird, I like strange combinations of stuff, but my favourite meal to make at the moment is organic pasta with tofu and a mix of pepper, tomatoes, different vegetables, raw spinach and almonds, with a little bit of salsa. What has been the most difficult time for you in all of your freestyle years? Most difficult time I can remember is probably when I was around 15 and just kept getting plagued by injuries just when I started to feel like I was reaching a decent level and making a name for myself. I had a few pretty bad knee injuries as well as a lot of trouble with my hips and lower back, and this put me out of freestyle for around 9 months, so I was just generally really unhappy over that period of time. Best meet you've ever been to? I've been to a few really good ones, but for me the meet that stands out the most was Super Bowl 2012. If you were trapped on an island and you could bring a TV character, a famous person and a freestyler, who would you bring and why? TV character, Jack Bauer. Celebrity, Russell Brand. Freestyler, David Benny. There's never a boring moment when David Benny's around. If God had to take a day off from saving the Queen, which freestyler would be qualified enough to take over the job and why? David Benny. No description needed. If you had to live with a freestyler for the rest of your life, who would it be? David Benny. If you could take another freestyler's signature trick, what and whose would it be? I would take PWG's Clipper, Charlie's Jordan Stool and Bengal's Uppers. What would you be doing with your life if you had never found out about freestyle? I would rather not think about that, but I'd probably be at university studying either film, psychology or philosophy or something like that, and I'd also probably be doing a lot of drugs. If you were to pick your favourite shoe for freestyle and your favourite shoe for everyday use, what would they be? Favourite shoe for freestyle right now is the Puma Brazil. My favourite shoe for casual use is the Nike Lunar Flyknit 2 because it's literally the most comfortable thing in the world. Are you a professional freestyler now, and if not, how to coordinate freestyle time and work time? Yes, I am a professional freestyler now, and this was actually a really good year for me, so that's why I'm able to dedicate so much time to creating content and training. Why don't you use upper moves in competition? I don't use uppers very much in competition because I'm not very good at them. When I first started freestyle, I had absolutely no interest in practicing uppers, so I just didn't pay them any kind of attention. But this is something that I really want to work on, so hopefully in future competitions I'll be there busting out rollers and all that other mental stuff. How do you feel with the death of Beyond Football and the transition of the freestyle community from forums to social networking? I have to admit, when Beyond Football first started dying down, I was a little bit sad and wondered how the freestyle community would respond. But now I really do feel like social media is the #1 way in which we can enable a much wider demographic to see freestyle, and that can only be good for the growth of the sport. Ultimate goal in freestyle. That's a difficult question because although I would love to win a big competition like Super Bowl, Red Bull Street Style or F3 World Tour, for me my main ambition is to try help freestyle grow, and I want to see the guys who devote their entire lives to freestyle and the freestyle community being able to live comfortably and happily off the sport. Right, I'm going to have to wrap this up now because I've been sitting here for over an hour, my legs really hurt and I really want to eat some strawberries. If you enjoyed the video, please do let me know in the comment section down below and I'll try to make this a more regular thing. But until the next time, thanks for watching and God save the Queen.